So we've got a handful of potatoes, 5, 7 potatoes. What we're going to do is you're going to half or quarter the taters after rinsing them off, of course. And by cutting them up, this is going to give them more surface area to cook a little quicker. And it's going to give us a little more of a platform to set the meat and a few other vegetables on. Now we're going to take some tomatoes here. Got about 5 or 6 tomatoes. Most are small. I got one a little bit bigger. Small one we're going to quarter. The bigger one, we're going to cut it into an eighth. Cut it in half a couple times here. And it's going to give us a little more flavor in there. We've got a handful of kale. We have actually 3 different varieties of kale. We're going to throw that on as well. And then we have just a can. It's got some chipotle peppers. We're going to take about half the can and put it in as well. Alright, we got the can cooker ready. We've sprayed the oil inside. First thing, we're going to throw our potatoes in first. Throw those in the bottom. Get them all in. Alright. So the potatoes in the bottom, and spread them out good. Make sure we have a good base for everything else. Alright. Next, we're actually going to put a little bit of kale in. Just toss it in. It really doesn't matter. It's going to wither down. It's going to melt down a little bit. But kale is basically like Superman spinach. Okay? It's like Popeye eats spinach, Superman eats kale. That's the difference. Now we're going to take a little bit of chipotle. The chipotle is easy to come in a can. Chipotle pepper, just take a small spoonful. Put it in right there. Okay. Next, we're going to take our tomatoes, slide them off in. Now we're going to throw the rest of our kale in here. It's been washed, drained out pretty good. Alright. Now just another forkful here of the chipotle peppers. And this will give the meat a rather, not necessarily spicy, but it'll give it a nice little kick, kind of like a barbacoa flavor from maybe a chipotle. It's a chipotle pepper, so it gives that little flavor there. All right, next we're going to pour a little bit of the sauce. Sauce has got, actually has like about a half a jalapeno in it. It's got a little bit of honey, a little bit of maple syrup, water. It's got some ginger, some turmeric, a few other things like that, just to give it a little flavor. We're going to pour that in. About half of that goes in there. Next, we got a pork butt. Okay, nice, good cut of meat. The fat is going to go on the top side. That way, as it cooks, the fat will run through, keep it nice and juicy, keep it nice and moist, and you're going to keep the bone in. So, nice little pork butt here is going to sit right on top of everything. And now we're going to make sure everything gets stirred up in there. Sometimes if you put any kind of honey, syrup, even some spices, they'll float to the bottom, or they'll sink to the bottom and get stuck in the pan. So, stir that up, pour that right there on top. Right. So, the liquid is going to be, we had maybe 3 cups total, 3 cups of liquid. Enough that it's going to cover most of the potatoes in the bottom. So that is that. Now, we're set, we're good to go. We're going to seal the lid down. Alright, so we're going to seal it down. And you can do this on the grill. You can do it on a fire, whatever you want. Today we're doing it right here on the stove top. I'm going to turn the stove to medium, just straight medium. I'm going to let it sit. I'm going to set the timer for about 20 minutes, and during the 20 minutes I'm going to check. And once it starts steaming, I'll time it. It'll be 45 minutes to an hour. I'll pull it off. I'll check the meat, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, because of depending on the thickness of the meat, will kind of depend on how much we're going to cook it. So now sit back, wait, and see what happens. All right, so we let the meat cook in the can here for about an hour and a half. After about an hour, took top off, checked it, seemed like it needed a little more time. So, and at that time, we actually threw some carrots, some squash, zucchini in. We didn't film that, but now it's been about an hour and a half total time. I cut the meat up a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit easier to get out. And here we have, and it's pretty nice and tender throughout. And the fat stayed on top, so you can easily trim that off later. But nice piece of meat there. And we'll cut you off pieces, see what it looks like. So nice, tender, hot. Looks good. So now we got the pan, we can actually take everything, dump it in here, and pick out of it we want, and then cut the meat up, have a big party. So, can cooker did the trick.